10 rides at Ferrari World. Starting off at number 10, we have Bella Italia, and no matter whether you want to explore a miniature scale Italy or just drive on your very own Ferrari 250 California, then this is the ride for you. Similar to such attractions as Autopia at Disney, if you are between the height of 120 and 200 centimeters, once boarded the miniature Ferrari with one other person, you will get to drive around many of Italy's most beautiful destinations on a guided track. However, for me and the many theme park enthusiasts out there, the views of the coasters is what makes this ride so great. Now, if leisurely driving around Italy is not your thing, then maybe you would love our number 9 position Karting Academy, and as you can probably tell by the name, it is a go-kart ride. Spanning across a total of 290 meters, already it must sound like a must-do, but it does not stop there, as not only are there many twists and turns causing you to drift quite a lot, but you do all of this at mega speeds. Just make sure to get to the park early if you want to do this ride, as you will need a time slot and it does get booked up very quickly. It is time for our first roller coaster on the list, as for our number 8 spot we have Formula Rossa Junior. The perfect ride for you if you want to experience a famous roller coaster experience just at a speed of 45 km an hour instead of 240. Nevertheless, despite this being aimed towards children, in my eyes, even if you are brave enough to ride Formula Rossa, this Zamperla family coaster is so much fun with its various drops, twists and turns. So what are you waiting for? Jump aboard Formula Rossa Junior today and experience the best 2 laps of your life. At the number 7 spot on our top 10 list, things are about to turn a little bit magical with Speed of Magic, the park's trackless dark ride, and I can't begin to talk about this attraction without introducing the character of the ride, Nello, who will join you while you experience everything from flying over cliffs to venturing into ice caves to even diving into oceans. One thing that I particularly love about this ride though has to be that it is in English, so unlike the majority of abroad rides where you don't really understand the storyline, on Speed of Magic this aspect personally makes the experience so much better. Have you ever wanted to fly across Italy? Well, if so, you would love our number 6 spot, and I apologise in advance on my pronunciation, Viaggio in Italia, as it is the next best thing. Now, for anyone who has not already worked out what type of ride this is, it is a flying theatre, and despite them not looking like a lot, oh my god are these things amazing. Once boarded, you'll see, and for the best experience we'd recommend the middle row. Through the use of movement, special effects and giant screens, it will feel as if you are flying around Italy. Therefore, if you have never ridden this ride before, I would definitely suggest a ride, and if you have, then you would know to do it again and again and again. Top 5 were and coming in for this spot we have Made in Maranello, and even though it is very similar to Speed of Magic, it is 100% for the old audience at the park as well as those huge car fans out there. Therefore it was hard to choose between the two. However, the reason why we chose this ride to be at number 5 is for the overall experience, because even though Speed of Magic may be the more fun out of the 2 rides, with there just being screens it often feels quite fake, whereas on this ride they use the latest in technology to create a rider experience full of props, screens and effects which, trust me, you will never ever forget. Get yourself ready for a race like no other, as taking the number 4 position and in my opinion the best family ride at the park, we have Fiona GT Challenge. Once again, I do apologise for my pronunciation, although I will not apologise for putting this ride at this position, and from the moment you leave the station you will know exactly why. For starters, the ride layout is so much fun for the family, with there not being too many intense elements, but also providing thrills with its 4 launches propelling you up to 95 km an hour. However, what makes this roller coaster for me is the dueling aspect, as racing another car around the layout, especially at the end with it interlocking with each other, just makes this ride 10 times better. Just make sure to win the race. Here we enter the top 3 rides at the park, and for the number 3 spot we have Turbo Track, the ride which fully demonstrates the saying short but sweet. If you choose to ride though, brace yourselves as you will begin by launching backwards or forwards depending on where you sit, head over that crazy airtime hill and then leave the building on the iconic corkscrew before doing it all again backwards. So yeah, this ride is not for the faint-hearted, nor is it one that should be missed. Who here is scared of flying? Well, if so, it's probably best to skip to number 1, as for our number 2 position, Flying Aces will take you on a flight like no other. Now this ride was inspired by the legendary Ace of Aces Aviator, which is pretty awesome if you ask me, but what makes this ride in the top 2 position is the element, which include not only the world's tallest loop, but also so many airtime hills, bank turns and inversions, causing even the biggest thrill seekers in the group to go, wow. So if that does not make you want to ride, I don't know what will. Maybe the fact that if you sit on the end of a rose, you can do all of this with no floor underneath you. How cool. We have made it to the number 1 spot, and for the best ride at Ferrari World, we have no other than Formula Rossa. As of 2022, the world's fastest roller coaster at 240 km an hour. However, that's not it, as firstly you do this launch in only 4.9 seconds, and you do not need to be a rocket scientist to know that's intense. And then after the launch you are welcomed by a series of airtime hills, twists and turns at this speed, creating a ride experience like no other. Therefore, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that this ride deserves to be at number 1, and a trip to not only Ferrari World but the whole of Abu Dhabi is not complete without a ride on the world's fastest roller coaster.